All right. Welcome back. And let's get into SQL. Okay, so let everyone open up a new text file in Sublime Text. So you can either find it up here
Spotlight.
in the spotlight in the top right-hand corner, and once you have it there, I would do this, Command Options, keep in doc. That's going to make your life a lot easier because you're going to be using
your best friend.
Sublime a lot. And let's just do it for
SQL
Pro while we're at it. Okay, so as David said a couple lectures ago, Sublime Text is just a text editor. It's not actually you're not actually running your queries there. So we'll construct our queries in Sublime Text and then copy and paste them into SQL Pro in this query area. We'll get to that in a little bit, but this is where we'll actually run different queries. And all right, so what is... I had a lot of files open there. All right, so what is a query?
What's a query?
So when you write a SQL query, there are two words that have to be in every SQL query. So the first one is select. This is the command that tells the database what information you want it to give back to you. So think of it as, so there's all this information that you're going to be like looking at, but it's like, what do you want to have? So is it the account of different IDs? So like how many people have done this action? Is it just simply a list of all your users? Anything like that? You need to tell them in the select clause.
Yeah. So for example, if I'm Peter's boss and I'm saying to Pete, hey Pete, give me I want a list of just our movie titles and how much each movie cost.
Okay.
Like if you're going to give your result set to your boss, you don't want to have all this other junk there, like the release year, the film ID. He doesn't care about that stuff. So the select one, you can just choose, okay, give me the film title and the rental rate.
Okay, so let's say, what you're going to put in the select clause are going to be these names up top. So it's going to be the column names.
Yep.
So let's just add that one. Let's do this example. So title, we want to know the title, and we want to know the rental rate. So you see that here. So we want to know for each title, what is the rental rate? So then we will write it in here and make sure that you are typing it exactly as it appears in the table, or else it's not going to know what you're talking about. So you need to be very sure that the words that you are using are the same as what is used in the database. And then the next most important thing, from. So what from is, it's saying what tables. So in this whole database of all these tables, what tables are we actually going to use? Because if we don't say what tables it's from, it's going to spend an infinite amount of time searching through everywhere in the database for this information. And there's probably going to be like the word title used several times, so it's not going to know what to do. So we need to say where in the database, from what table do we want them to pull this information?
Yep.
So this table is called film. So we'll type it in there.
And typically when you're writing a query, that's kind of like usually, even though select comes first in the order of how you write it, from is probably, in terms of thinking about it, that's kind of where you want to start thinking about it. It's like, think about, where is this information placed? Where is it stored? And what tables do I need to go to?
You'll most likely, you'll go there and you'll write the from line first and then figure out everything else. But you need to know where you're looking for all this information before you even start. And the last one that you will use 99.9% of the time is where. And for a very simple query, so we could run this query as it is here, and we would get the information.
Yeah.
But for anything more advanced than that, you're going to want to use where, and it's going to allow you to put conditions around the information you're getting back. So let's say we want the title, we want the rental rate from film where the movie was released. Let's say where the length is, or let's say that where the rental rate equals 99 cents. So what you would say, we'll go into this a little bit more advanced, but I just want to show the where.
Yep.
So where the rental rate equals 0.99. And so that will put a constraint on the result. So we won't get any results where the rental rate is greater than 0.99 or less than 99 cents. So this is the skeleton format, and let's just write it out a little bit clearer. So this is it right here. But let's show them a little magic of Sublime.
Sublime.
So let's save this.
Yeah.
Let's save this first thing.
Okay.
We'll call it the skeleton.sql. Say, boom.
Ooh, pretty.
So okay, so
pretty.
if as you can see, it changed the core skeleton
claws.
the clause names to red. It changed this number to purple. I think we were showing this earlier, but let's say we wanted to write a sum. So you could do sum of like
3 plus 4. 3 and
4. It's going to put a function into turquoise. It's going to put the numbers into purple. Let's say we want to write my name as a string, Peter. It's going to turn it to yellow. That's the kind of formatting that Sublime offers, and it's going to be really helpful when you have like a 20-line SQL query. It's going to pull out the important information, and you're going to be able to double check that you are doing everything right. But let's run this simple query.
One more thing before we did it. We noticed that you SQL Master Pro, that you've been using this so often, that you added this little semicolon at the end. What is that for?
Yes, so the semicolon is really important because it signifies that the query is completed. So it just tells the computer, so as it's reading your lines of SQL, when it gets to that semicolon, it's like stop and don't read anything below that. So let's say you had, it just makes everything contained into a single query.
And just says run everything above it.
Yes, exactly. So let's take this and show a little magic of SQL. So we're going to come into this query, we'll paste that, zoom in. So this is the information it has, and we can just run this. Boom!
Wow, that's nice.
Sweet.
Dude, that was solid. Boom. Give me some of that.
Boom. Boom. There we go. All right, so that is your first SQL query. So now you can look through here.
That's pretty. Like, I just wanted those two things from as your boss.
Exactly.
I don't
so
want
now
any
you
of the other stuff.
Now you can go to your boss and you can be like, okay, this is simple to look at. You want to know the title, you want to know the price. This is it right here. You don't need all that other description, year of creation, replacement cost, anything like that. So this is like what they need to know. And should we show them the
Sure,
where?
let's do that. Where?
Okay.
I think there might be an error, but we'll see.
We can always find out. There's only one way to find out. So rental rate equals 0.99.
Run that.
And
looks like it did it.
so that's perfect. So now we can go to the boss and we can say, okay, here are all the movies that we're renting for 99 cents. So let's zoom. Can you zoom in on this? But now we have it. So there's 341 rows. So that means there's 341 movies that we're renting for 99 cents. Compared to when we did this, we got 1,000 rows. So this is something we'll show you how to look at more clearly later. But just a quick kind of cheat way, you can look down here at the bottom to make sure that your query is actually constricting the way you want it to. So instead of getting 1,000 results, we're only going to get 340. But yeah, so let's go back and just wrap it up. We have our SQL skeleton.
See, it didn't turn pink, so that's how you know he messed up. You did a typo.
Doesn't happen very often. Okay, so this is the skeleton that you're always going to be working from. So it's always like I know David, he has quick keys that'll just input this right when he starts because he knows he's going to write it anyway. So he's like Mr. Efficiency over here. All right, but
so yeah, just review again. In a SQL skeleton, what are the 2/3 main things you want? First one is, just say it out loud, even though you're by yourself in your room watching this video. Just say it out loud. First one is select.
The second one is from. And the third one is where. Okay, so one more thing. We are introducing our first Brain Buster. All right, awesome. So at the end of each lecture we're giving, each new tool we're teaching, we will be asking you to do a brain buster, and then we will explain the result in the following video. So for this lecture, the brain buster is to write a query to find all customer names, first and last, their email addresses, and where they're a customer of. And sorry.
Well, that's kind of a little hint, actually.
And
only those who are
customers of store number 1. Or store...
Store number 2.
Store number 2. Okay, so what you're going to need to do, look through these tables here and figure out which of these tables is going to have that information, and then write the query that's going to give you that information.
Use that skeleton.
All right, good luck.